guys, it's Camille, and today we are at the Transportation and Ticket Center because today we are visiting Magic Kingdom. Today's video is going to be a tad bit different. So say you're autistic like me and you happen to love the theme parks, you like the rides, you like seeing the characters, you like having a good time, but you hate people. More specifically, you hate being around big crowds of people for long periods of time. Now on the other side of things, let's say you're somebody who is considered neurotypical and you like the parks, but you also dislike being around large crowds of people for long periods of time. Today's video will be dedicated to all of the quiet spots that I know of here in Magic Kingdom. As somebody who is on the spectrum, I utilize these areas all the time, most of the time, depending on how heavy crowds are and if I just need a break. I frequent Magic Kingdom the most out of the 4 parks, so it's the park I am the most familiar with. And believe it or not, there are a ton of areas that one would consider to be quiet, relaxing, chill, really great for anybody who just needs to take a break from the chaos and just recharge for a minute, and then they get right back into having fun. So this video is dedicated to all of my neurospicy friends out there, all my introverts out there, or just anybody who'd appreciate a nice quiet place to go when they're here at the park. So without further ado, let's go. For context, it's June 26, 2024, and it is like 9 something in the morning. The park opened at 8. I did not get here any earlier, but the goal is to not be here very long today because it's going to be hot. We're not even into the worst of our summer heat yet, so oof. And if you couldn't tell, Magic Kingdom is getting ready for 4th of July, as you can tell by all the American bunting that they've got along the train station. It is the end of June after all. Let's move. Our first quiet spot is going to be on Main Street. When you think of Main Street, you typically think of the worst congestion in the park. But for this spot, that's not necessarily the case. To get there, you got to be on the confectionery side of Main Street, so you're going to head all the way down. So you head down Main Street until you're between Uptown Jewelers and Crystal Arts, and you've got this area. This is quiet spot number 1. As you can see, there's tables and chairs. It's shaded for the most part. You even have this indoor area. There's telephones if you ever need to use one, more benches, and it's quiet. If you ever need help trying to find it, the biggest giveaway is the Shadow Portraits part. That's in between both Uptown Jewelers and Crystal Arts. As you can see, it's shaded, it's very, very quiet. This is actually one of my favorite spots to come to at night when you're waiting for the park to close out and for everybody to leave. Because with Magic Kingdom, when the park closes, crowds are chaotic because everybody and their mother's trying to rush out of the park. This is the spot to come to if you want to wait out the crowds. I mean, like I said, benches, tables, chairs, whatnot, it's great. And it's one of the most quiet spots on Main Street that you're gonna find. I'm actually gonna take a quick detour into Crystal Arts just to, for one, get some AC, but also two, to show off all of the glass items that are made in store and also by, it's one company whose names slipped my mind. But over here, they do demonstrations. Sometimes if you're lucky and if you come in here at the right time, they usually have a cast member actively working on handmade air-blown glass items right here. I think I got a video of a guy doing it in May, so I'll have to put that in here somewhere. Alright, we're going to be headed to Tomorrowland next because there's 4 different areas in Tomorrowland that I consider quiet or relaxing spots in the park. And this is one of them. This is Tomorrowland Terrace. Normally the chairs, as you can see here, are blocked out. That's because this area is reserved for the dessert parties, but this walkway is one of the nicest areas if you want to get away from people. I will say on occasion, they do allow some people to sit at some of the tables. But most people are not over here until later in the evening when the dessert party starts. So Tomorrowland Terrace is another good spot. The terrace is also a good place to cut off the traffic going into Tomorrowland. It's not nearly as people-y as the main road. Now, you're probably looking at these crowds and you're thinking, Miss Gregory, where in the world are you gonna find someplace quiet amidst this chaos? Well, two of the spots in Tomorrowland happen to be attractions. The first attraction, and my personal favorite, is the PeopleMover. This is the best ride in Magic Kingdom. It's one of the most relaxing rides in the park. It's one of my all-time favorites. PeopleMover is one of the few rides here in Magic Kingdom that does not utilize the lightning lane system, but I can promise you the line does move relatively quick.
Greetings, intergalactic travelers. Welcome aboard the PeopleMover, presented by Enterprise. I'm Monarch 5, your guide aboard this highway in the sky. And my stars, is there ever lots to see? From spacecraft to monster laughs, there's really nothing like today in Tomorrowland.
For your safety, if you have wings, jetpacks, or gravity polarizers, please do not take flight while on board. Thank you.
And red lines. Don't worry, your express train keeps on rolling through the future, right by two of my favorite spots. First up, Progress City. Walt Disney's amazing dream for a community of tomorrow. Did you know Progress City inspired Epcot? And a lot of the visionary ideas throughout Walt Disney World. Look, there's even a tiny PeopleMover. I wonder if that means there's a tiny Borak. On your right is Star Traders, home to the greatest goods in the galaxy. Except actual stars. Those are no longer sold.
Approaching Tomorrowland Speedway and Tron Light Cycle Run.
Come on, baby. Let's see a train shoot out of there. Pretty please. Are we gonna get lucky and get a train today?
Attention all visitors from Galaxy and World. Please keep
there they are.
This is Starport 75,
or as we locals call it, Space Mountain, our high-speed rocket port to distant deep space destinations.
relaxation wash over you at the most refreshing retreat in the galaxy, the coral rooms of Pisces 7.
They say in space, no one can hear you scream. Unless you're on Space Mountain, then we can all hear you scream.
Attention all visitors.
Disney's Carousel of Progress.
Calling all space rangers, report to your star cruiser and join me on this daring space mission against the evil Emperor Zurg. Affirmative. We're on it, Buzz. You can count on us.
Alrighty, so we just got off PeopleMover. Like I stated, it's one of my favorite rides in the park. It's one of the best rides in the park, in my personal opinion anyway. You get a really nice consistent breeze up there. You get a gorgeous view around Tomorrowland. I mean, it's just very chill. It's very relaxing. I've heard of people that'll actually sleep on this ride. The next quiet spot we're actually in right now. This is the area right outside Carousel of Progress, and it's not too far from the bathrooms that are by Space Mountain. There may not be too much shade, but there's not very many people, and that is the goal here. Now, I don't sit over in this area very often, but that's because I usually frequent our final quiet area, Carousel of Progress. The show originally debuted at the 1964 New York World's Fair. It was created by Walt Disney himself and the people of Webb Enterprises, also known as the Disney Imagineers. After the World's Fair, it was moved over to Disneyland, and it stayed there from 1967 to 1973. When they decided to open America Sings, they moved the attraction to Magic Kingdom, and it's stayed here ever since. Oh hi, I'm back. Excuse the music. I am directly underneath the Tron Light Cycle Run. You can tell over there from the roller coaster supports and the screaming people. So funnily enough, Disney themselves actually considered this specific pathway a good area for resting and taking a break if you're considered neurodivergent. That's on their website. So long as you don't mind the music. I got off of Carousel of Progress. I'm gonna try and make this quick though, because I do know it's a little louder over here and I don't have a microphone, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a little hard to hear me. So I'm just gonna sum up my thoughts very, very quickly. Carousel of Progress is one of the best audio animatronic stage shows to visit when you're in Disney World. It's one of the best places to cool off because the building is air conditioned. It's a 20-minute long show. It's a rotating show, so you can technically count it as a ride. Carousel of Progress also has by far the softest audio track out of any of the audio animatronic stage shows in Walt Disney World. I'll just play you a few clips now.
It looks like the Robins are getting ready to celebrate Valentine's Day today. What year is it? Oh, right around the turn of the century. And believe me, things couldn't be any better than they are today.
The July we've had in years. We've come a long way, though, since the turn of the century, over 20-some-odd years ago. You know that pilot fella, Charles Lindbergh? He's about to fly a single-wing airplane all the way across the Atlantic. He's never going to make it.
All the news. And then they have all this singing and dancing. A lot of fluff, but it's fun. You know, I predict the day when millions of people will learn Latin and Greek sitting in front of their TV sets.
The show itself is very, very cute. It's very charming. I love the history behind it. I love that considering how old it is, it's still running to this day. It's got like the Mr. Rogers neighborhood vibes, you know? It's just very comforting and it's very calming, and it's one of my go-to places if I need to get away from people and if I need to get away from the heat. Alrighty. What's cool is that if you take that little path from underneath Tron, it leads you right into Storybook Circus, which is the location of our next quiet spot. Storybook Circus is in Fantasyland, and it is in the back end of the entire park. Not very many people come over here unless they have little kids, because this is where you're gonna find Dumbo and the Barnstormer, which is the kiddie coaster. So there's plenty of tables and chairs over here in the back end of Storybook Circus. But our next quiet area is gonna be right next to Pete's Silly Sideshow, which is this tent up ahead. This area despite it not having a whole lot of air conditioning. Don't let these itty bitty fans lie. They barely blow any air. Aside from that, this area is my favorite quiet spot in all of Magic Kingdom. It's shaded. There's tons of seating. There is a water fountain over there. And that box way in the back provides outlets for charging mobile devices, cameras, so on and so forth. Truly one of the best quiet spots in all of the park.
Until we come to a complete stop. If you're disembarking, please carry your strollers all the way off the platform before Understand now, this is Frontierland Station. Hello, friends, as we come into the station.
So we just got off at the Frontierland station for the railroad, and actually there is a quiet spot that's just beyond the restroom signs. It's supposed to be an area that's between the restrooms and the stroller parking for Tiana's Bayou adventure. That area is closed to us right now because the ride doesn't open until the 28th. So I'm over here by Tiana's Bayou adventure. The ride is officially going to be open June 28th, 2024, which by the time this is uploaded is going to be tomorrow. Oh my word. So currently, the ride is still doing previews until the 28th, as you can see from the few people that are on the ride. Oh my god. Hi! Now you're probably wondering, will you go on this ride? I don't want to, and I will tell you why. So you see this? You see this right here? That is why I won't go on it. So in 2016, I rode this ride when it was still considered Splash Mountain, and I hated it. I've stated this a couple times in previous videos. I don't like thrill rides. Drops are probably like my biggest enemy. I hate the feeling of dropping and all of your organs going into your throat. That's like not a comfy feeling. Here's my ride photo if you want proof that I really, really disliked it. And yes, I was crying. But I am aware that, you know, given how this has become such a hot button topic with the re-theme and everything, I've ridden the ride before. I can maybe convince myself to try and ride it again if it means facing my fears, quote unquote, or, you know, just hopping in on the hype train, you know. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to force myself on here one of these days. It'll probably be sometime after opening though, because I imagine it's going to be chaotic getting lightning lanes and virtual queues. I'm going to take you guys to the next quiet spot, which is just across the river. This is Tom Sawyer's Island. It's the largest quiet spot in all of Magic Kingdom. The only downside is that you have to get there by raft because it's literally like disconnected from the rest of the park. I have a whole vlog exploring the island and more specifically the spooky caves in the island. But spooky caves aside, and the potential risk of running into some snakes and maybe some gators, the entire island is very, very quiet. There's not very many people that go over there. There's tons of area to spread out, lots of places to sit, there's bathrooms, there's even a shaded table area that's facing the Haunted Mansion that has like soda machines and stuff. I mean, overall, a really nice area if you want to get away from the crowds. We're not going over there today because it's hot and I don't want to stay outside, so we're gonna keep moving. Summer has indeed started, folks, so high crowds in Disney World during the summer months is not uncommon. Oh my gosh, there's a bear! I'm gonna have to say hi to the bear, excuse me. Big smiles! No. Thank you. Over by Ye Old Christmas Shop, there's this area right behind the store. This area is not usually occupied very much. It's also a great area to watch the parade from afar. It's very chill. Not air conditioned, unfortunately. Over there is a gazebo. They usually use that for character meet and greets, and judging by the attendance, there is slated to be one. I just do not know who. So just across the way is the Hall of Presidents, and our next quiet spot is over in that nook over there. There's a couple rocking chairs. I've been over there before. Sometimes cast members will utilize the space for the Halloween party, for photo ops and stuff, but that's another really good area if you want to get away from the people. Also, pro tip, if you need to get away from the heat, sit inside the lobby for Hall of Presidents. You don't even have to go see the show. If you just sit in the lobby, it's good enough. All right, so we're down by where Haunted Mansion is because we're gonna stop over in this area for lunch. We're headed to Columbia Harbor House. So fun fact, at Columbia Harbor House, there's a whole second floor that has a ton of seating and extra condiment bars, like the one right next to me. And it is far quieter up here than it is down the stairs. So down on the first floor is where you can order your food. And you can sit down there too, but upstairs has a ton of seating. Obviously right now, because it is peak lunchtime, there are more people in here than there usually are. Well, and it's also summertime. But upstairs is a far easier dining experience than it is downstairs, where you've got all the commotion of everybody ordering food in the kitchen and the workers and whatnot. Here's a better look at the upstairs. There's more seating down over that way. But they even have the condiments over here, so you don't have to get them downstairs. And they've got bathrooms up here. Alrighty, Ruzel. So we're actually gonna backtrack back over this way, because we're gonna head into Adventureland. There is a neat little shortcut right between the Diamond Horseshoe that takes you from here all the way over to Adventureland. Ta-da! We made it. We're now headed into Adventureland because one, I've got a lightning lane for pirates because it's very hot, and you know, I still had some money left on my Disney gift card that I got for my birthday. Might as well use it for that. And two, our next quiet spot just so happens to be by Pirates of the Caribbean. Alrighty, we are right by Pirates of the Caribbean, but our next quiet spot is actually to be right by Pirates of the Caribbean, just across the way from Tortuga Tavern. It's gonna be right around here, around the corner, right next to the gift shop. It's right over here. So right over here, and next to the bathrooms that's connected to the gift shop, is our one and only quiet spot here in Adventureland. So it's like a whole corridor. You just go straight down and you're by the bathrooms. But literally there's plenty of areas to sit. It's shaded. It's one of the coolest non-air conditioned spots in Adventureland, actually in most of the park, if I'm going to be honest. And when you get out of that area, you're right back at the entrance to Adventureland and the path that leads you into Frontierland. So yeah, really nifty spot, though Tortuga Tavern is a close second. Now that I showed you the Pirates of the Caribbean quiet spot, we're gonna go ride Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, hi, I'm back. So I went on a few rides, got some AC because it is really hot out. I cannot stress to you guys how hot it can get in Florida. Anywho, we are headed towards our last couple of quiet spots that are in Magic Kingdom. First area is actually the pathway we're on. Not very many people come over here, and you get gorgeous views of the castle. The last quiet spot is actually on the opposite side of the castle. We're just about there. So this whole pathway is actually a really nice quiet spot in and of itself because not very many people travel down this path, but the main spot is the Cinderella wishing well. Not only is it a gorgeous photo op, it also has several benches, and because nobody ever really goes down there, it makes for a beautiful final quiet spot here in the Magic Kingdom. Oh, hi, I'm back. Now that I've shown you every quiet spot, at least that I'm aware of here in Magic Kingdom, it's very hot. It's time to go home now. Let's go. We made it home, yay! So as you can tell, I'm wearing a different shirt, and that's because I'm filming this like many days later. So things got really busy after I filmed on the 26th, and I completely spaced filming an outro. So there's that. Anywho, aside from the intense heat that was happening that day, I had a lot of fun making the video. I've been wanting to make this for some time now. I really just wanted to share with everybody these specific quiet spots in Magic Kingdom. Again, like I mentioned in the very beginning, I utilize these areas when I go to the parks. In fact, I think the only time I don't use them is during the special events, so like Mickey's Not So Scary or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, because those are limited capacity events, so those tend to not be as busy. I really truly hope you guys enjoy the video as much as I enjoyed making it. I hope that this video was informative or maybe even entertaining. I mean, you know, I hope somebody gains something from this video. I also mentioned earlier in the vlog that Disney on their website has a page specifically for guests traveling who are considered neurodivergent, and one of the sections on that website included areas in all 4 theme parks that are considered good areas to take a break and that are more quiet and they're not as congested. I'll flash that on the screen now. The areas that you see here for Magic Kingdom specifically, I believe I showed just about all of those areas. I think I missed probably 2 of them, mostly because I didn't even realize those areas were considered quiet spots. Now I am planning on filming future videos showing off the other quiet spots that are in the other 3 theme parks. Now I am pretty familiar with the layout of Epcot, but Hollywood Studios I don't go to very often, and I very rarely go to Animal Kingdom, so that should be fun. So thank you guys again for watching. I really do appreciate it, and it means so much to me. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the channel, and if you guys have any questions about any of my videos, or if you just want to say anything at all, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I do always read them. I'll see you soon. Bye!